live the life. City to city, we run the night.
In the city after dark, it's only the...
You're back to the original Bad Guy Jonski show. You know what I'm saying? I want to touch on this one topic only because of where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised in Bronzeville, East New York. I was born in Kings County Hospital. You know what I mean? And ever since I fell in love with hip hop, because it was all about me. It represented me. It represented where I was from. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this little debate about, you know what I'm saying, the Puerto Ricans and what they're, you know, what we brought to the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really and honestly, we're right there with you. We were right there with the creation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you couldn't go and you couldn't live in no projects in New York City without having no Puerto Ricans in there, along with some blacks and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was just nothing but blacks and Puerto Ricans. That's it. Point blank. So and I remember in the 70s, in 77 or 78, whatever, when New York had that big blackout, that's where a lot of people got equipment from, because a lot of people started breaking into the Crazy Eddie's, which was a record shop, really more than a record shop. It was an electronic shop where they had all that, and people was breaking in there taking stuff. So I might have had the amp, you might have had the speakers, he might have had the turntables or whatever, so we put that shit together, we coming out to the park and we throwing a jam. But you still can't do your shit without me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I had the mixer, then you can't mix your records, you can't cut your records without me. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's the contribution, you know what I'm saying, in some ways. I mean, so, you know, well, my man Fat Joe probably saying, you know, that's not saying that we, you know, that we ain't taking all full credit, but yo, you got to give us, yo, we were there. Yo, we were there. We were all that. We were either on stage carrying the crates of records or putting the shit together or doing whatever. And then don't go with the breakdancing, because the Rocksteady crew and the New York City Breakers, predominantly Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying, that were all in it with the style, you know, the dress, and also the graph, the graffiti. Mad graffiti artists, you know what I'm saying, mad Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying, and also other cultures. Because you had Lee, who was Chinese, this dude Lee from yo, whatever. Listen, so you can't, you know, we gotta ease up on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, it ain't the part, we ain't trying to say, oh, that we created it, but yo, Puerto Ricans was right there. We was right there next to the shit. We were packing. We were going, what you going? Yo, one of the fattest clubs back in the day was called La Peseta, man. It was called Latin Quarters, man. Latin Quarters, man. Latin Quarters was definitely pumping. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was, you know. You know, we were in there, you know, so it's just, you know, we can't forget about it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, the Charlie Chases in the world and the boys that were back there rapping and shit, you know what I'm saying? But we were there, we were right there, we were packing the clubs, we were bringing the biddies, because you know we always had the bitches, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of cousins, so we was always bringing it, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the way it is, you know, and where I grew up at, you know what I'm saying, East New York, Bronzeville, you know what I'm saying? That those two hoods right now, you know, to this very day, they don't change. You know what I'm saying? You can't gentrify those areas right there. Yo, you're back with the show. Yo, the original Bad Guy Jonski. You know what I'm saying? Listen, make sure you press that button, subscribe, the like button, or leave a comment. You know what I'm saying, below, so that way you can go ahead and interact with the show, and I know what you guys are feeling about down there. All right? Peace. So that's the way. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other, you know what I'm saying? And I used to be all up in the places and stuff, you know what I'm saying? As young as I was, you know what I'm saying? We had in New York, we had New York, we had the Empire, it was Empire Skating Rink in New York, and then there was the other one uptown. I never really went to that one, but you know what I'm saying? It was just like that. It was just, you know what I mean? Like, you can't front on that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we need to just get that correct, you know what I'm saying, for now. We all in the same stew anyway, so it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? We were all in the same pot, like we wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like some, you know. And also too, which is crazy, because the Bronx was kind of crazy, because then when that hip hop movement was going, but then you had on the other side of the Bronx, you had this sound called freestyle. You had the whole freestyle movement happening, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole other thing. But that was mainly Spanish. That was mainly all, you know what I'm saying? You know, because there were people from the South Bronx and from Soundview and from different private project buildings and shit, you know what I'm saying, that were coming out with this high energy dance that they were coming out with, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but, you know, that's just the way it was, you know what I'm saying?
Also, like, you know, you were talking about the earlier stages of hip-hop, you know, where it comes from. So we're looking at, like, Sugar Hill and all these records. They had definitely Puerto Rican people involved in that.
Oh, no, definitely. Even, what's his name? Even the original Grandmaster Kaz will tell you know what I'm saying? His boys right there, he got, you know what I'm saying, got people that he know right there in the projects that were Spanish and, you know, Puerto Rican, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and that's the one that I really, you know, say, because all that Sugar Hill stuff, all that, it's all Grandmaster Caz, man. That's all, you know what I'm saying? They took, but it was really kind of like, cause the rappers back then really looked at making a record like, what? Like, I'm not making, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to take advantage of that, so they didn't want to do the record. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they went and picked those 3 guys, you know, even one straight from the pizza shop and shit, and told him to come into the car and start rapping, you know what I'm saying? And what he do was he did Grandmaster Caz's whole damn fucking repertoire. So that's why they were like, oh, we want you to do that. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the original biting if you want to look at it, right? That's the they bit that whole skit and put it on wax, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? And then he says his name, he spells his name out, you know what I'm saying? He's the GRA, you know what I'm saying? You know, but what's crazy was that when I moved here, I went like into a time warp because like it kind of like I went backwards because I seen this whole sound down here transform. You know what I'm saying? Like how it did for New York, how it got out of that high energy stage and then started going into slow tempo. You know what I'm saying, with the lyrics, and then you know what I'm saying, and then people talk about where they from because it don't matter where you're from, where you're at, and then it's not, there's not just because New York is New York don't mean that all the bad guys are in New York. Like all the real niggas are in New York. That's a you know what I'm saying. There's real niggas everywhere. There's you know what I'm saying, everywhere, every town, every city got they people doing their thing. So it ain't just, you know what I'm saying. So you know you gotta always picture that. So, but it was the ideology too, because remember when that freestyle when it came out, I was like, yo, like when are they gonna? Florida, Miami really held on to that. They didn't want to let that go.
California as well.
Really? I didn't know Cali was on that.
Yeah, and Cali was also on Miami bass tip.
I know that because of the systems.
Yes.
Because they got those cars, you know, they had all these speakers.
Yes.
And then they trying to put it in a CD, and the CD ain't even giving them no quad.
And the Chicanos in Cali back then loved freestyle.
Yeah, you're right about
like
that.
Like if you watch the movie Hard Times with Kristen Bale,
they have the
whole freestyle, Trinier,
oh my
Debbie
God,
Deb, and they were from Miami.
Well, that's Miami. That's Pretty Tony, man. That's Pretty Tony shit right there. That dude right there. Shout out Pretty Tony. I don't know if he was still alive. I was saying, because that dude was old.
No, Pretty Tony's still around.
You know what I'm saying? Trinier was his wife.
Yes, and they have a kid together.
Yeah, she was crazy about that. But you know, it's just the way. That's why these days right now it's so like, I enjoy it. I like it because it's like, you don't really need. You just need right here, this little camera shit right here, whatever. Get online, do this shit, and you can just reach out to as many people as you can. You don't need no. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody to come in the middle and try to like take your, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to go to another level, then you got to mess with them at the big level. But if you want to stay where you control everything, if you're happy, you can do that. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is that we're talking on this subject about Puerto Ricans being involved with hip hop. The funny thing is like after the original hip hop, the most grossing music is actually stems off Latin hip hop, reggaeton, and to Bad Bunny to nowadays.
You got a whole
continent,
man. You got South America. You got that entire continent that speaks that language, man. Like, I mean, I remember Bob when we put out that Cuties, you know what I'm saying, and that dumbass nigga that what's that dumb nigga, man? That Rico Suave dude, man. That came out with that song.
Gerardo.
Man, my goodness, man, I hated that dude. Cause like for real, Bob was trying to put me on like, not the look. Don't look at that, but just look at what he, you know what I'm saying? Like rapping in Spanish, like, you know what I'm saying? Like use your, and I was always like nah, man, that's like you tripping. But he was telling me, don't look at the, you know what I'm saying? Don't look at the, like the sex, you know what I'm saying? Because that dude was atrocious, man. I was like, man, he don't represent what Latin represent. You understand what I'm saying,
because
bro?
He was an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was from LA.
So that was a fucking, you know what I'm
gimmick.
Saying? But still, like the one who's doing that today is Pitt. That's why Pitt, you can't take nothing against Pitbull, shout out Pitt, whatever, because Pitt right now, when he got it into his head that he was like, fuck being Mr. 305, I want to be Mr. Worldwide, bro. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? He's just looking at that. He's not putting himself in just a little box. Now he's all, come on, man. And he's spreading the word. And he's nice. And he's nice with the lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, if he wants to really hit it,
if he wants to really spit some shit, he can spit some shit.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
I met him once when he was young, and
man, he used to come through. He used to come through all the time, man. To come through over, Laz used to bring him through and shit. Some of the recordings and shit like that, whatever. And then when Jimbo got him, which was funny, that later on, like Jimbo started producing his shit, right, and do this shit. And then when I got out of prison, I went to one of Cali's birthday parties, and they did that Born and Raised in the County of Dade right? And I'm standing right there. I'm standing right there on stage with them shits, and you know what I'm saying? And see Pitt, and see Jimbo, and then because I remember I was in the 561 up here in West Palm Beach. I was the first one to bring Trick Daddy to perform up here when he had that Trick Daddy Dollars on his first album. I was the first one to bring him up here with them damn dogs over here at on Military. I'm the first one that did that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew about that shit up here. You know what I mean? And it was starting to move. The movement was starting to get ready, but it had to get powerful in Miami first before it could start coming up. Broward, Palm Beach, all that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't kicking in your own background, in your own backyard, then you ain't really doing nothing. You gotta have your backyard locked down, and then you can go to other places. So once they got Miami locked, Broward got on, Palm Beach, and everybody started, you know what I'm saying? And then Pliers with his brother out there in Fort Myers, you know what I'm saying? Got on and they started doing their stuff, you know what I'm saying? That shit, started getting right. But remember, it took a while, it took a minute though for it to transcend, you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, to tell you the truth, that when I had the club, they would try to get me to bring UGK or whatever, and I would be like, yo, first I didn't even know, my bad, I didn't even really know about UGK. That's how sheltered and how real pig-headed us New York niggas was, for real. If we wasn't fucking, if you ain't sound, if you ain't even remotely sound you know what I'm saying, we weren't giving you no play. I didn't even know about these dudes. I didn't know about no UGK. I didn't know about Pimp C and Bum B and them boys down there. None of that. And even I would ask some people, yo, y'all know about UGK, whatever, I got opportunity to bring them to perform, and nobody, you know what I'm saying, it was just real finicky up here, man, you know what I'm saying, the certain groups, it wouldn't work, they weren't getting played on the radio, they weren't getting played on the mixes, you know what I'm saying, it was first started, the New York stuff started infiltrating, when Joe and them put that chain on Khaled, he became a Turn Squad DJ, that's when he started bringing that, he started playing the real underground New York, you know what I'm saying, down here, start playing, start getting right. And then once the stuff started taking off, you know what I'm saying?
But there was also underground radio stations already.
That's what they were doing. That's where Khaled came from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From 96.1 when he was doing
but
the
Khaled
underground.
was still he came from Orlando.
Tallahassee. He came from Tallahassee.
And then on his way down, he ended up in Miami. But he was a big Miami bass.
Of course not. The
fan.
DJ, he was all about Uncle Al and them, and the ghetto style DJs and shit with Jan Pony and them. You know what I'm saying? Because those were the ones that were doing it down here. You know what I'm saying? Most times when you heard your shit on the Jan Pony tape, then you like, oh shit, we made it. We you know what I'm saying? Because them boys, Laku Jock and Slick Vic and them boys, man, they weren't playing around. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And then, it's just that Palm Beach had to find this thing because for real, we would go to Broward, we would go down to Dade, they'd be like, yo, where y'all from? We're like, yo, what you mean? We from right here. 30 minutes right up 95, we right here. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the way Palm Beach had it, with because it's really the way, it's a lot of old money up here. You got the island of Palm Beach right there. You know what I'm saying? So they really didn't want a lot of that Miami, Broward stuff to infiltrate up here. You know what I'm saying? Even though they couldn't help it, but you know what I'm saying? I remember the clubs, yo, they wouldn't play no rap music, man. No, forget hip hop. They weren't playing no rap music at all.
Rock and rolls.
Oh man, freestyle. Oh, they even play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they'll wind up playing the remix of like I tell you, of that Paid in Full before they wouldn't even think about playing the original. You know what I'm saying? And to put it up in a circle, you know what I'm saying? It's all kinds of genres, but in New York predominantly it's Puerto Rican and black, and that's the way, you know what I'm saying, that whole culture came up about it like that. So it's like, whether you was in the club together, on stage together, rapping together, we was together. That's the way it was in the hoods, you know what I'm saying? Every projects, every city had it like that, you know what I'm saying? Like even Philly, when you went down to Philly, same way, a little bit Baltimore, same way, you know what I'm saying? Projects, can't go to no projects without finding a Puerto Rican or a black dude down there, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, even down here. But, you know what I'm saying? The hip hop, it's just, New Yorkers had such a, we kept hip hop close because we created it, so it came from there. So it was kind of like we were the judges. We passed judgment on, but so it was like if it didn't fit this criteria or it didn't have this type of sound or we were nah. We were like nah, it ain't getting in the club. It's not gonna get in the club yet. You gotta step it up. Even though we were pigheaded in the point that because what LA had Kid Frost and them out there, right? You know what I'm saying? Cypress and them, right? You know what I'm saying? With the Latino culture in them in there, right? You feel me?
They had a lot of success.
Word up, you know what I'm saying? Down there, Tough Crew down there in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? That was Latinos down there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's, but again though, a lot of people from New York though didn't take a lot of that stuff serious because we were just like, we were really hard on that shit. We were like, yo, you gotta, if you ain't spitting no lyrics or your beats ain't rough or your cuts ain't right or whatever, it's like, no, come again. And it was a good and a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we kind of X ourselves out of a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? Because of that. Because if it wasn't from New York, it wasn't right. If it wasn't from this, it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's why DJ EFN has that big thing with Nori, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we were pig-headed, man. We were some motherfucking snobs with that shit. Hip Hop Jonski, you already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to press that subscribe button. Peace.
We live the life. City, we run the